in January, and then I'll be in the New Orleans area in March. Tickets available at romplicone.com.
We talked about ranked choice voting. So there's a column today in the New York Times by Gail Collins, again, wagging their finger at people who vote for the Green Party or vote Libertarian. They just don't understand. People don't owe you their votes. There's actually other parties in the country. They get to vote for who they want. That's how democracy works. You get more choices, not less, you stupid corporate tools. Today, New York Times, Gail Collins talking about how the Greens shouldn't have voted in Arizona because they almost cost that woman the election in the Senate. Do you understand that those people wouldn't show up to vote if there wasn't something for them to vote for? Do you understand environmentalists aren't going to vote for frackers? Do you get that? And if you need their votes, you better go get their votes. That's how politics works. If you need the Green Party's votes or environmentalist votes to win an election, you got to go get them. That's how politics. It never worked. Voter shaming. It never will work. It's the most, immature response to losing an election I can think of. Talk about not being grown up. Talk about immature. And by the way, the people who scream the loudest about people who vote third parties, they never advocate for ranked choice voting, which would take away that whole thing. They never scream about the Electoral College. They scream about the 200 people who showed up to vote Green. Meanwhile, 3 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton, and we still got Donald Trump. If there was 3.5 million Green votes, maybe you have an argument. But in Maine, where they instituted ranked choice voting, and by the way, the establishment fought them even after they passed it on the citizens passed it, the legislature overturned it. They had to go to court.
Well, and they're fighting again.
Right.
I mean,
they're still fighting
again,
it.
as we're going to see here, and we're also seeing ranked choice voting really works.
Ranked choice voting really works. They implemented it in Maine, and here's what happened. Democrat Jared Golden emerged as the winner of Maine's 2nd congressional district race Thursday, upsetting Republican Representative Bruce Poliquin in a historic runoff that used ranked choice voting. Now, remember what ranked choice voting does? Let's say if I go to vote, it was Hillary Clinton, Jill Stein, Donald Trump, Gary Johnson. My first choice is Jill Stein. My second choice is Hillary Clinton. My third choice is Gary Johnson. So now, if we add up the votes and Jill Stein doesn't have enough votes to win, and Gary Johnson, you throw them out. And you take my second choice and you give my vote to my second choice. Do you see how that works? So nobody's a spoiler. It's hard to explain, but just all you have to know is you get to vote for who you want to, and there's never a spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay. Golden captured 50.5% of the vote to Poliquin's 49.5% to become the first challenger to defeat an incumbent in Maine's sprawling 2nd district in a century. Wow. The Marine Corps veteran and Lewiston lawmaker also made history by winning the nation's first congressional election to use ranked choice voting, enabling him to erase an initial deficit by securing the second and third choice votes of people who cast their ballots for 2 independents. So there were 2 independents in that race. The people picked the independent as their first choice and the Democrat as their second. Well, when the independent didn't have enough votes to win, they got rid of now we go to their second choice. The fight, and you keep eliminating candidates till you get a majority. The final vote tally was 139,231 votes for Golden versus 136,326 votes for Poliquin, a margin of 2,905 votes. Very close. However, Thursday's ranked choice voting results won't be the final word on the 2nd district race, which was one of the most expensive in the country. Poliquin defiantly declared Thursday afternoon that he won the constitutional one-person, one-vote tally on Election Day and vowed to continue his lawsuit challenging the legality of ranked choice voting.
Interesting fact for you, Poliquin. One person, one vote. We don't technically have that anyway.
We don't have that.
We don't actually have that anyway, buddy.
Golden said the ongoing lawsuit in federal court will not affect his transition from Maine legislature to Congress. And he said he intends to continue focusing on the issues of his campaign: health care, higher wages, Social Security, and helping working people. So there's a situation where ranked choice voting worked. There was 2 independents in the race, and the people who favored the Democrat over the Republican favored the independent even more. So they got to vote for the independents. When the independents' vote tallies were the lowest of the 4 people, they got rid of them, and they took their second choices and they applied them. So their second choice went to the Democrat. Boom, the Democrat wins.
Yeah, so most people in Maine, either leaned independent or Democrat, and they knew we sure as hell don't want the Republican. So that's why after the first tally, the Republican was up because there were all the Republican votes. But then when you institute ranked choice, the will of the people went to the Democrat. Now, I don't know how this guy's lawsuit can really go anywhere because he entered into the race knowing that it was ranked choice voting. Maine decided on that a little bit ago.
So what happened was they passed it at the ballot. It got overturned by the court. They passed it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the court says that it doesn't apply to state races. So ranked choice voting isn't used for the governor, but it is used for federal elections.
Yes.
And it might as well. And actually, this guy challenging it is kind of a good thing because other states are going to adopt ranked choice voting, and someone's going to challenge it then. So this will probably be this will set a precedent. And hopefully the precedent will be ranked choice voting is okay. Because ranked choice voting actually reflects the will of the people. Before, like they have that horrible governor, Paul LePage. So if you had 5 people running in a race, you didn't have to get a majority to win. You just had to get a plurality, which means more votes than everybody else. So Paul LePage got like 37% of the vote when he became governor. 37%. And everyone knows he would not have won in a one-on-one runoff. So you have ranked choice voting. So if you have 5 people running and nobody gets a majority of the votes, you take the person with the lowest amount of votes, you throw them out, you take their second choice, you apply it, and if somebody still doesn't have a majority of votes, you throw out the lowest vote getter until someone has a majority of the votes. But your votes don't get wasted, they get applied to your next choice. And so now this is great. What would be even better than ranked choice voting is if we actually had proportional representation. So let's say if the Green Party gets 5% of the votes, they get 5% of the seats in the House. If the Libertarians get 5% of the vote, they get 5% of the seat. And that's how you have, to me, that's the best way. Mm. We don't have that. We have what they call first past the post in America, and it's not a good system. There's much better systems. And so what anything to say about this, Ron Placone?
Well, I'm just hoping it holds up. I mean, I hope that, like we go further with ranked choice voting. I mean, you still just get one vote. Like, it's not like you actually have, and I know it's all legalese and it's interpretations, but you still just get one vote.
Your vote only gets counted once.
Right. So it's, I don't know.
Right.
Here's hoping ranked choice voting, wins out in the courts.
It's very revealing that the people doing all the finger wagging and shaming of voters never scream about ranked choice voting and never scream about getting rid of the Electoral College. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton got 3 million more goddamn votes than Donald Trump. How many more million of votes does she have to get? What the F? It wasn't fucking Jill Stein's fault. It's this screwy system that was instituted by syphilitic slave owners to protect white wealthy guys. That's what it was. That's what the Electoral College is about, to protect slave owners. And we still use it. And ironically, or not ironically, but perfectly, it gives us a racist.
And it doesn't give us one person, one vote out the gate.
Right.
So
that's what drives me nuts. If the people who were doing all the finger wagging and voter shaming about people who didn't vote for one of the two parties, if they also were screaming about ranked choice voting and getting rid of the Electoral College, at least they would be consistent. At least you could respect that position a little bit more. Now, I don't respect those people at all who do that stuff. I'm not going to vote for another warmonger. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to vote for someone who's in bed with Wall Street. I'm not going to do it. I get to vote my conscience. That's the beauty of America. I'm not going to be complicit in starving and a genocide of people in Yemen. Are you going to be complicit in that, Ron?
No, I'm not a fan.
Me neither. Okay, ranked choice voting. Hip, hip, hooray. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice when we